After a day's travel along the road toward Mekurdika, the friends encountered some familiar faces. Adric Drach, the House Drach liaison to Boonhaver, stepped forward and produced an official writ for the arrest of Govin and Kimrim Godbury. Kimrim and Govin agreed to come quietly, not wanting to become outlaws in their own homeland. With some quick spell work and some choice words, the party was able to convince Adric to accompany the group to Mekurdika before taking the two into custody. Adric, Rollo, and the tough looking half orc began loading their wagon for the trip. Welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign. I am your most gracious DM, VGpunx, not Commander VGpunx, which is always what I want to say. Hope everybody is having a great day so far, and I hope that you all are ready for a most excellent session that I spent all of 30 minutes preparing.
Excellent.
No, it really actually did have a lot more time than that. I had, all the base work done, but just
You know
hadn't put
what?
everything together.
Good DMs, they work well with
Yeah.
improv, and that's
Gotta
what
go
you
with the
do.
flow. So where we left off, you guys had just encountered the Adric Drac and and friends over on the road toward Mekurdika. So you've come south at this point out of the forest and into the grasslands area. So trees are starting to, they're occasional trees here and there, groups of trees, and mostly they're rolling hillsides and grass as far out as the eye can see. So um, at this point, Adric is and his company are starting to load up their wagon. Um, and they've, as I stated before, they have agreed to accompany you to Mekurdika, at which point, once you arrive, they will then take Kimrim and Govin into their custody. All right, so um, you guys pack up your, pack up and get back on the road. Go ahead and delete the X that we have here. But once again, we're about to initiate
No.
some further travel. Um, so I'd like to just kind of give everyone a chance here and um, to kind of talk on what you are doing while this travel is taking place. So we'll determine number of hours that are traveled and all of that after a while. But uh, I guess we'll kind of go straight down the list. So Cyrene, what do you want to do while you're traveling with the caravan?
Uh, will probably just be keeping an eye out, like listening for anything that might be ahead of them. She doesn't have like anything like to really work on or any, uh, like things to learn just yet. So probably just paying attention to her surroundings.
Okay, excellent. Healthiest, how about you?
Um, I want to keep my bird up in the sky if it's still around. Also, I would like to help player that was working on battle strategies. Also, I'd like to learn a little bit of that too.
I think the character that you're talking about was Valphalin, and he was just reading a book
Okay.
on combat, on swordsmanship and combat strategy, I suppose.
Like field combat strategy or anything that can help, because I think the court wizard would have to be proficient in battle strategy, I guess you could say.
Sure. Yeah, you've definitely. Let me see. What was your intelligence? This has 17 intelligence, and given your background and also you're standing as a court wizard. Yes, I think you would have probably learned at least small unit tactics. Um, so yeah, for sure. Put some time into into study, sort of a group study sort of activity. That sounds good. How about you, Ian Fear? What are you doing for the length of our travel? And you don't have to restrict yourself to one thing either. It could be, I want to dedicate X amount of time to this and X amount of time to that.
So, I would dedicate sort of like the first portion of time, at least traveling with Kimrim, to, well, part of it's going to be understanding, doing my furthering on the Dwarven language to learn the new language, but also to learn more about sort of um, the houses, and and sort of the political environment, given that House Drach has brought this official summons, and she feels at least obligated that she has to obey this summons. The only other question I would have before I continue would be, like, how are we traveling with this group from House Drach? Like, are they intermingled within us? Are they leading this caravan? Like, is there any point where is there any point where the sort of like hired guards would be separated from the main House Drach members?
So they are in their own wagon, and they're bringing up the rear. So your two wagons are ahead, and theirs is behind. They tend to pretty much stick together, and the guards and everything, and the hired hands and whatnot that you've noticed, they are pretty much sticking to the wagon.
All right. So yeah, then pretty much this just going to be learning more about learning the Dwarven language, and then just understanding more about the sort of the political environment for
Okay,
the
so you're reading up on Dwarven. You're reading up on the Dwarven political. I guess the way their political system works and their judicial system, things like that. I think I'm understanding your angle. Is that correct?
uh, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Misku, you're up next. What are you doing for the length of the trip?
So, especially knowing now that their wagon's following behind us, Misku's going to go back to where she was in the hanging out the back of our back wagon. She's going to be laying sideways, propped up in the back wagon, smoking her pipe, but now all the while staring daggers into our new travel companions.
Yeah, who are right behind the wagon that you're on the back of.
And like, I want to stress, Misku is literally just going to lay back there and stare at them the entire time smoking.
As you do that, the half orc who is on the front of the wagon, he wears this wide brimmed hat. Is just constantly eye contact with you, completely deadpan, emotionless look in his eye.
All right.
Okay. Anything else you want to be doing during the trip, or was that it?
That's it. Just hang out in the back wagon, maybe meditate a little bit, but mostly just keep an eye on them.
Okay. Rack, how about you? What are you doing for the length of the trip?
Well, I guess mainly keeping an eye out as we go, looking out for any trouble, and anything that can keep our food stocks up. So
Okay.
I think we were okay immediately, but little
Yeah,
extra here and there wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, you definitely brought a big haul home with the last hunt. But things like fresh fruit and vegetables that you might find, onions and things along the way, are always welcome, and you're very adept at finding such things. So you're kind of constantly, going out and, oh look, definitely there's some mushrooms over here that are edible, and you're able to identify that. For that sort of activity, if that's what you would like to do, I think I may have imposed that upon you. um, Okay. Yeah, I figured that's what it sounded like you were doing.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead and give me a survival check.
a.
Or I'll let you also roll a nature if you'd prefer to roll a nature.
I'm just better at survival. We'll keep with that.
Okay.
And
All right, we have a 15. Excellent, excellent. All right, Tess, what are you doing for the length of the journey?
Out of character question because I didn't catch it earlier. How long is this trip slated for?
Unknown. Basically, you're kind of just making a plan for your character. Are you just talking about the overall trip?
Yeah, like, do we have like maybe an ETA? Does anybody have an ETA? Because Tess does not have very much knowledge on geography. So if we had like, if someone was able to come up with like an estimated time.
And it looks like 2 days from where that last X mark was.
Actually, give me a second. I have this
'Cause we're
taken down.
We're heading to Mekurdika, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's correct. And you're traveling along the path.
Yeah.
So unless you'd like to take a shortcut or something like that, I actually had the full trip was slated to take. Where is that? Oh, I put that in here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, come on. Weird. I laid out like a chart for this and everything, and it's gone. No, wait, no. I think we had originally laid down that this was going to take around a week.
That sounds about right.
And at this point, where we're at right now, which is around this area here, we had been traveling for around 2 days. So
A little over a week and a half then.
that's right, yes.
When we first start our journey initially, ever since the whole seizure of Govin and Kimrim, Tess will spend exactly 25 minutes in a woe is me state.
In a woe is me state.
So sitting inside the wagon with everyone, Tess will kind of bring her knees up to her chest and slam her forehead into her arms and just kind of, oh, what are we going to do, guys? Tess has no ideas. It seems like it's really the end of the line for us.
No. There's no end of the line.
I must agree.
What is our plan? When we show up, they're just going to take them into custody, and what will happen to us?
They might chop liver.
Well, I have an idea.
Tess would love to know because Tess is panicking right now.
Well, as it just so happens, we did acquire a pretty important item from our friends, the Drow.
What item would this be?
A very special scroll of web.
What is so special about a scroll of web, Ianfear?
Well, I mean, for example, if we were to get ourselves down an alleyway with them following us, we could web them in place while we were to leave in safety.
It would help me casting web. Instead of me casting web, we could use a scroll.
It is a decent plan, but do be wary.
I think I have a better one.
We have known that that the small one, Rolo, was a spellcaster, no?
Not. I had not seen that except for his ability to disappear.
Tess also
Hmm.
thinks that we might be a little outnumbered here.
Well,
Numbered.
that's
I
one of
think
the.
we outnumber them.
Well, well, even if they had a number of them, the beauty of the web is that it doesn't just grab one person; it grabs a whole group of people
Would
in
they
a
grab
radius.
would they grab us along with these mean guys behind us that Misku is staring daggers at?
Not necessarily.
What would we do about the people behind us?
Well, the first thing is going to be to grab as many of them and keep them held as possible. So that way, if worse comes to worse, it reduces the number who would try to take us out.
However, if we do take such an action against these people, it does make us outlaws as well as Kimrim and Govin. I do believe that it is not all right to thrust such a title upon them.
And Misku's gonna look back over his shoulder and go, "What's wrong with being an outlaw exactly?"
Right?
Nothing.
Been an
If that
outlaw all my life.
nothing if that is your way, but for one such as Kimrim and Govin, I doubt the title is very befitting.
Alien.
Tess also
Well,
cannot be an outlaw. Tess's goal is to be a hero.
well, the problem is we may face being either being an outlaw or being dead.
I don't believe that the dwarf would take any violent action toward us once we've reached Mekurdika. That is the
Said we
agreed
were
upon
good
arrangement.
to go. We're free to leave.
Well, I'm not speaking of upon reaching Mekurdika. I'm speaking of later because I'm having the sneaking suspicion we're not going to leave Mekurdika alive if it is his if that's their intentions.
I wonder how much Adric knows of our plan.
They seen the mirror? Do they know of the mirror?
Well, we've kept it pretty secure here, and I'm not sure how much information has traveled back with Kimrim, especially with their liaison having died in the caves.
We could incite greed.
And inciting greed would help us how?
Oh, instead of picking Kimrim and Govin, we might just want to take the mirror instead.
I don't believe that Adric knows of the mirror, but
That's
I'm-
why we.
They cannot
present
take the mirror. Tessa's friend Scrito is in the mirror.
agreed. I will proceed to the front wagon. I wish to know more about if there's any possibility that they would know about our precious cargo. I will return shortly, and with that, he sort of clambers to his feet and he drops out of the back of the wagon with a thud, and then proceeds to kind of jog past the wagon and jump up into the front wagon where Kimrim and Govin and Terius are.
Many other things.
Holding her tail close to her chest, in like a comforting fashion, Tess is going to look around and say, if we can decide on a plan of attack, Tess can try to reach out to the voice and see if the voice has opinions.
What is this voice?
It is. Tess thinks it could be a god. Tess really isn't sure. It is just a voice that reaches out to her now and then and says opinions on what we should do next.
Trap them in wall of sand?
Healthiest is just kind of blunt weapon after blunt weapon.
Okay, so with this in mind, I do have a spell that might help out with the decision making here.
Okay.
Let me find it.
Blunt weapon would be kind of like summon undead, right?
No, a blunt weapon is what you would use against the undead.
So
true.
I have this spell called Augury. I'm just gonna go ahead and cast it real quick so that
Now?
everyone can see. Yep. By
Oh, no.
casting gem inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, and Tess has her mother's skull as well as other bones that she has picked up throughout our journey. She is going to basically reach out to this otherworldly entity and try to get an opinion from them about whether or not we should try to fight back along the road or just wait and see how things play out.
Okay, so
Mhm.
specifically, what is the result of the specific action that you're trying? What is the specific action that you're looking for?
This web spell that we were just talking about with the Infear, would it work out?
I have web.
And essentially, what it would be is the idea is sort of with them, like, or with us traveling down a narrowed path. We would use this web in order to either keep them or any of their hired goons, essentially, locked into place as we were to leave Mekurdika before any possible, violence were to occur.
So this is like the escape plan when we get to Mekurdika.
So
Yeah.
just to lay out the supposed series of events that you're considering here, you all would arrive in Mekurdika. Govin and Kimrim would go along with Adric, and in the event that that Adric and company waylay you, um, attack you, then
Right.
the idea is that you have these courses of action prepared so that you can stop them in their tracks and make your getaway.
Yes.
Okay, then that is the specific course of action that you're trying to get the results for.
Yeah.
We have like people in Nekaduri or whatever.
Do you have
Mekurdika.
people there?
Do we have like allied forces in
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's
Yes.
also, I believe Misku has connections to people in like crime and whatnot.
I do. I have
So,
criminal contacts.
There's
Mhm.
also the possibility of her trying to sneak off and try to cut through the water or try to take a shortcut to get to Mekurdika before we
Or
do.
how about I do a skywrite and like
What?
Govin in the sky with the arrow this way, something,
I mean, the problem with that would be something that it would have to be something where the people following behind us right now, they are they can't know what we're doing.
Okay, then
One of us could act like we're really, really injured or super sick with the plague that has been spreading around between both cities.
about a gust of wind.
And that would probably cause some concern while they check out the symptoms of the person acting like they're sick. And that, I think that would cause a good distraction because everyone's afraid of this pandemic that's going on.
Yep. Everybody is
Darkness.
afraid.
Crown of madness.
You're just reading each of your spells.
I'm naming the spells that could help.
I don't think there are any spells that are really going to help out a whole lot currently because, like, right now, we're kind of outnumbered on the road.
Yeah,
About
and
rope
it's
trick.
it's really it's really situational here because
So is Govin and what's his name with us?
they're in the front wagon.
Okay, so I
Valphalin
can
has
do a
gone to
rope
talk
trick.
to them.
You'd like to see what this does?
A rope trick?
Yes.
To what end?
Okay, hang on. Where'd it go? Ah, no, where'd it go? Ah, rope trick. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Let me take a
Hang
look.
on. There it is. Okay. How do I copy?
So just click on the dice and it should post it.
You want me to? Okay. I'm gonna cast it.
Oh, is that making you cast it? Give me a second. Take a look.
How about edit item? Here we go.
I'm not
I
seeing
can.
this rope trick thing.
Oh, I see.
And
I mean, the problem. See, the problem is that it only lasts for an hour to use the spell.
Okay, so maybe like 30 minutes before we're at Mekurdika or whatever.
I'm still not seeing this spell.
I
Oh,
have
there
it
is.
in. Yeah, I have it in D&D Beyond.
Paste.
Oh, no, I'm reading through it right now. You touch a length of rope that is up to 60 feet long. One end of the rope rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. The extra dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope.
But we don't know where he went.
Space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into space, making the rope disappear. So the only
Last I knew, he went to go drain the main snake.
I would just like to remind you, though, that doing such a thing will be breaking the law.
Yeah, it's the main problem is that we're trying to do something so that way, they're only being asked in for questioning as opposed to being, actual
they're not.
outlaws.
They're not being executed or anything like that. Kimrim
We
last
might
time,
be, but we don't know for certain.
not sure, but
Their main objective is Govin and Kimrim.
yeah, they're not. Their main objective is to arrest Govin and Kimrim and bring them to city name that I can't remember.
Mekurdika.
Well, no, for their
Yeah,
city.
no, they're not
the
taking
main capital but the main thing is that, at least based off of the information gained from Tess at the end of the thing, is that while the main guy for the house Drach said, he has no intention of us having harm, just escort, or that we will be fine once we get to Mekurdika. That the intentions on that was that he is lying.
Right.
So that's what I was saying. If
Wherever
we were
Govin
to do,
goes, I go.
So, Tess, the results of your ritual, you place the bones and other such implements down and perform your 30-minute ritual, and at the end of it, wheel is the outcome.
Wheel. Ooh, let me see.
After kind of sitting and meditating with her mother's skull in front of her and these various objects laid out in a circle, Tess will kind of snap to and say, Tess thinks the web idea is a good idea.
well, I mean, naturally it came from me.
The wagon rocks ever so slightly on its axles, and as Valphalin re-enters the cart, no, it seems that Kimrim and Govin had previously planned ahead for our transportation of the mirror. They have communicated to almost everyone in Bunavar that matters that the mirror would be sent along to the museums as a relic found in Dintherum. No other information has been provided to the public. We should be safe. However, if we are caught with the mirror, they will no doubt confiscate the device.
Agreed. My feeling is if this is questioning, this is going to be questioning about the events that led to the death of the previous House Drach representative that was with us.
No doubt. No doubt.
Okay. So just to back up for my own note-taking purposes here, because there were a lot of tangents for a moment. Our main goal right now is to just play safe and get to Mekurdika without causing any trouble.
Correct.
And then once we get there, when trouble does arise, because we know it's going to, we have our web backup plan. And we need to somehow get the mirror to the ship that we intend to board to get to Shopabin, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Said your friend is in the mirror.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a character that happened last time.
It is quite a story, actually.
I'm gonna take notes real quick,
Is
so I'm
there
gonna
a
be
way
not
that-
present.
Govin can be in the mirror.
No, unfortunately, the mirror only opens from within. At least so far as our experience has been.
Have you
And
tried knocking?
well, I mean,
There was a handout, I thought. Oops. Give me a
well,
second
no,
here.
well, there was, but the point is that we've even had Tess here tried running into it and nothing except a bruised
pride, yeah.
forehead. Yeah,
Well,
bruised pride.
If it's a doorway, that would just basically mean that you're running into a door.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this instance, it's a door that only opens out to us, and we haven't been able to get word into it.
Have you tried knocking?
That is fair, I suppose. It's fair. I'm looking for some. I could have sworn that we kind of had some various information regarding the mirror, but I'll have to look those back up because I don't have any of those handouts in this system yet.
Celsius would probably want to see that.
You do still have them, and most definitely, I'll pull all of those PDFs in and
So
upload
my
them so you
only
can see 'em.
the only thing that I remember as far as the information that we had from handouts was one was I don't remember if it was a map or a letter or something like that. That was like, in order, what we would had to do is hold it up to light to the mirror.
Oh yeah, that is right.
But I think Scrito took that with him, was the thing,
Yeah, he
because
did.
we only have the one map, and then the only other thing we got was a letter back from Scrito.
Ah yes, okay.
So those are the only
Ladder.
handouts that I'm aware of.
Is this
Aware of,
Scrito the one that went into the mirror?
Yeah.
and came
Yes.
back from it. Yes, this
Yeah,
was
he
her.
came.
thread.
He originally came out of the mirror, and then we had a small like adventure interaction with him, and then he went back into the mirror, and then at a later point, we came across the mirror, and he came out of the mirror for a second, and then back in, and that's when Tess tried to follow him, and she couldn't go through. So we took the mirror with us. We're trying
like
to
you
get
have
it
to have some
across
type of
the
item.
ocean to a place called Shopabin. Now, my question is, do we know who has the ship, or are we trying to find pirates that'll take us across the waters? Was this
safe
something that the
passage.
Godberries had set up for us previously?
Well,
This is something that actually Antarius was helping out with. He did indicate that basically we'd be purchasing passage, but he knows how you would get the ship.
But are
Then-
there criminals involved? Because I am kind of interested in this idea of maybe trying to have Misku separate from the party to go, like, maybe let these criminals know that, like, we might need help getting escort to the ship when we get there, because if we have the mirror with us, we're not going to be able to just carry the mirror through the town without people getting suspicious. We might have to take, like, a carriage or something.
Some of the people involved in this were probably, more on the shady side. There's some There's a pretty high level of discretion required in this, so you got to hire people who are right for the job.
I don't see the X on the map right now. Did you place it down?
That
No.
is so currently we are around right here, but that's about to change. So
Yeah, we are planning our journey to Mekurdika. That's why he was.
yeah, that's
We're
our current
planning
position.
on what we're doing at Mekurdika or whatever.
It's just fun to listen to him butcher that every time he says it.
Because we could very well try to send somebody from the X across the water here. I don't know how turbulent it is. Or
I
if
mean,
it's swimmable.
Oh wow, how are you doing that?
I mean, we could. Well, we have the ability to draw on the map with our own thing. My concern would be I would not do it there, simply because
man.
basically we're sending someone across the field, and there's like they're going to be watching this kind of thing. Whereas if we were to do it, say where we are going to cross a river, let me see, like right. Oh, hang on, like right here.
Mhm.
Where if at some point, like while we're crossing this river, if like we were to create a thing where it might be that they appear to be swept away, but instead they take that
tidal wave?
river to. I mean,
No,
maybe.
he's talking about sneaking somebody off along the river.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is like we have someone in our group, our lovely Misku, who is in contact with fellow
They
outlaws and criminals in the town that
small?
might be able to help us just in case something goes awry.
Right.
And like Tess could send her off with some like gold to go bargain with some criminals to help us get safe passage through the town.
and also safe passage for the mirror too.
And the mirror, yeah.
But
Wow.
but that was why my concern would be just sending them straight off right now would draw like some unwanted attention.
Yeah,
Whereas
she'd have to
they-
run through that whole field, whereas if she were to just kind of go overboard, like right
From
here
right-
off the trail.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
also the guys behind us would see me leave.
Well, I
Um,
mean,
We can create a distraction.
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah, that
What's the
would be
base
something that
movement
could, base movement of the whole caravan.
of the person that's trying to sneak off.
Oh, like walk speed, land speed.
Yeah.
I think Misku, I think it's what 30 feet is your base movement.
My base is 40.
40.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
I can increase it.
barbarian.
My concern though is that whether or not they see me leave, they'll probably notice that I'm not there anymore because I've been
Glaring
drilling.
daggers at the dude.
Exactly.
How about I cast invisible?
We could
Well, no,
send our fairy off, but she doesn't have any criminal contacts, I think.
I think.
Yeah, no,
think-
Cyrene does not.
What is
yeah.
let me ask, what is the goal of sending this person off? Like, what are they doing? What are they supposed to do when they get there?
As I said, to find criminals that'll eventually help us if we have to gain safe passage through the city, because we're anticipating
Okay.
having to web people down when we get there, and then we're trying to get to the ship safely. It might help if we had some people there that were to help cause a distraction or do general criminal behavior to help take the heat off of us at the time, because we have a whole ass mirror plus this whole party of people that need to get through the town to a ship. How are we going to do that without being noticed? We might need outside help.
Yeah. Okay.
What Cyrene could do, and I'm not sure if this would work because I'm not sure about outlaws, but like if Misku, I don't know if Misku can write, but if Misku could write a letter and then Cyrene could take it asking for help, I don't know if that might work.
Yeah, Misku can write.
But yeah, like Cyrene could
That-
try to like find some outlaws and like take a letter from Misku saying that we might need help. I'm not sure if they'd trust me.
That would work. I mean, that would definitely work. And I'm sure you could. You're a wizard. I'm sure you could manipulate your way
Yeah.
through that sort of situation. Look at your spells, maybe prepare some different spells than what you have,
And like, has the enemy seen the fairy yet? Like, have
Cyrene's
they
usually
really
hiding.
acknowledged the fairy?
yeah, likely not.
So it might be easier for the tiny fairy to separate from us and then go maybe alert some thieves or something that might be able to help.
So, yeah, definitely sounds like a pretty solid plan. Um, so just to kind of get this straight in my own mind, once you guys approach one of these rivers or cross one of these rivers on the way toward Mekurdika, at that point, one of the party will break off along the river, or um, could be either actually on the river, like sailing a raft or something, or it could be flying
Well,
alongside it, or
well, I mean, in this case, if it's going to be Cyrene, it may be easier for her uh, to go unnoticed uh, when she makes her flight to Mekurdika. As a like, it may be easier for her flying through the fields than for like say Misku. Was my concern. So if she's going to go, I think it would be easier for her to fly undetected if she were to like leave essentially with a note.
well, Valphalin kind of stoops forward, places his hand on one side of the map, and he points. He says, "I believe if the plan is to have um, Cyrene as the one who breaks off instead of this river, perhaps we should choose this one."
My concern is just, I mean, I suppose it does make more sense. It's just, I would feel like I would want to get word ahead of time as soon as possible, prepare things.
They Serene would still have enough time to reach Mekurdika before we'd get there, as we still have this entire um, length of path of road to travel. I say this for a few reasons. Number one, this is a very large river, and thus, if sailing is the intent, the current coming in from the ocean would be a problem. Um, Nextly, you delete that. The smaller river with less current would be more apt toward rowing upstream. However, it seems that small Cyrene would have trouble with such a thing, and thus I believe that she would be flying next to the river. Am I incorrect in that assumption, Cyrene?
I would assume that she would just be flying through the air.
So how about when we cross over any of the rivers, could create a tidal wave and knock out their carriage?
Real quick before I address that, Ian Fear, you have never actually seen Cyrene fly through the air. She is at
Uh,
most able to fly. Um, I believe it's like 6 feet in the air, and that's
I've
about as high as she's able to
Mhm.
go.
Well, even still, so first off, I've at least seen her uh, going through the air because I fell into a pit while she was just flying through doing nothing because she didn't care.
Right, but if you recall, that pit was not that deep.
I mean, for like 3-4 feet or something, plus being able to essentially hover in the air. But more importantly, like say she's only able to like fly 5 or 6 feet in the air.
I think
She's
it's actually
also,
something like 10, but either way.
but my point being, she's still small. So
So
She could be a bird.
the
she
point,
won't be like as an insect. Essentially, I'm as a, like basically like a dragonfly or something. She doesn't have to fly alongside the river. She can fly, following the
Right.
path.
it, precisely, and my point is that this path gives naught but grassland. This one, on the other hand, is forest, which I believe our Fey friend is much more apt to,
Hmm.
which would be correct. Yes, fairies are much more. Well, they exist mostly in
In
forests
forests
and in
and
the Feywild.
mhm. I feel like Serene could get through.
I was simply proposing that the forest route for you would be less dangerous.
Curious.
Yeah.
Plus, there's no sailing involved because you wouldn't have to cut this. You could cut this way.
hmm hmm
So we
This
have
is-
our plan. Now we just have to wait out the rest of the trip.
Indeed.
I'm doing nothing.
The Misku will. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Healthiest, you were you're studying battle strategy with Valphalin as you guys travel.
Oh yeah, I never finished what I was gonna do
like,
after our plan.
With the plan, I'm doing like nothing. Just watching everything unfold.
We're kind of playing it by ear once we get to Mekurdika, it seems like.
Yeah, we might need use of your spells or like our general kits, like once the web situation goes down. But yeah, the majority of us right now are just kind
We
of
need
riding
more
it out,
web?
and we got to see what's going
It's
on.
like I have more web.
No, not more web. It's so right now we're banking on being able to use this web spell, which Ian Fear is going to help with. But if something else happens, like if there's like an unexpected turn of events, then we might need to take some action. So right now, like Tess and Rec and Val, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens when we get to the town.
Yeah, we're trying to do nothing for the moment because we're trying not to cause Kimrim and Govin to become criminals from our actions
Mm-hmm.
from this moment. So our plan is just wait and see what happens until we get to Mekurdika, with the exception of sending message ahead to try to get some help. But once we get to Mekurdika is going to be when things will go into motion.
Yeah, and then at that
Okay.
point, we might need, help
Something.
from Healthiest for like spells and whatnot, but we're just not there yet. So the rest of the trip, we just need to figure out what we're going to do to pass the time.
It sounds like you're definitely going to need a handy dose or a healthy dose of both spellcraft and stealth.
So what Tess is going to do along the rest of the trip is first she's going to take a rest because I used a spell slot, so I need to try and get that spell slot back.
Sure.
So Tess is going to rest, but she is going to continue. Last time I mentioned she was studying a dwarven book of herbs to try and find a cure or a vaccine for the pandemic that is currently sweeping across the whole continent. So those are going to be her main two things, is basically just studying medicine and then resting.
Okay. And Healthiest, you said you were also studying. So lots of studying going on. In Fear, you're studying the Dwarvish language. You're studying the Dwarven judicial policies and things like that. Official policies and stuff like that. Cool.
At some point in time, we need to actually come together and train. Yes.
What's
Train on
that?
our. We need to train on our strategic advancements.
Agreed. Yeah, well, that's partially what you're doing with Val, but mostly, it's just you and he studying.
Right.
I'm going to say
I need
small
it
unit
all.
tactics.
Okay.
All right. So you guys get underway.
I actually do have a question before we proceed.
Sure.
Specifically, the note I'm going to be sending, what are we asking for, like, in specific? Are we just asking for, like, safe transport? Like, just the number of people and valuables? Like,
I would say safe transport for one wagon through the town, which
mhm.
would be our wagon that has the mirror in it. And we're
Okay.
trying to not draw too much attention to ourselves. So if there's anything that you could set up with your criminal contacts and just be like, "Hey, gang, I need you to show up," or like
Okay.
if there's somebody in your criminal gang who has contact to like maybe someone who just lives around town who regularly taxis people with their wagon, if we might be able to set something up like that. Like I really think it's kind of open-ended based on like your creativity and what you want to come up with and discuss with the DM. I just think that it would be cool to be like, we show up and there's like, you know, a gang of criminals that are there ready to help back us because we sent Cyrene with a note and we promised gold, you know?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write. Misku's going to start drafting out the note, but she is going to be writing this also in Thieves' Cant. So by the chance it is intercepted for whatever reason, there's a less likelihood they'll be able to decipher it.
I was thinking illusionary script on my end too, but it's okay.
Yeah, Thieves' Cant would probably be a lot more.
Yeah,
safe.
Thieves' Cant is going to be definitely how you choose to communicate that one. Although a combination of the two things would also be viable, using like looser. What was it? Illusory script?
Yeah, illusory script.
A little bit of column A, a little, because you also don't want that to get caught even by other, you know,
Yeah.
non-intended people.
Extra encryption.
Right. Never can be too safe.
Yeah, maybe a two-factor authentication for the note.
Yeah, right. We'll send you a text message with put in the following code to access your Thieves' Cant letter.
This letter was sponsored by Blank VPN.
Val, overhearing the whole thing, points out, and that would just leave how the situation is handled by Cyrene once she reaches Mekurdika.
Maybe
Don't
we
think I would be
can
there.
maybe we can mark some spots on the map where we think Misku's contacts hang out most often so that she has a couple different places to check just in case she doesn't turn up anything on the first try.
That would be
Yeah.
that would be something you could do during travel, is teaching Cyrene how to properly get the right people, communicate with the right people, or
Yeah.
even find the right people.
Yeah. Misku would have to teach her the signs she needs to look for to direct her towards like thieves guilds, etc.
Right, and maybe a bit of Thieves' Cant,
Because
maybe
we,
just enough Thieves' Cant to get her there.
we've got like a week and a half essentially on the way to Mekurdika, so like you have like a good
Oh yeah.
week to teach Cyrene all that you can about what she needs to know when she gets into town to navigate and find the right people.
Also, in a pinch, Tess, you do have a very magic staff that you could use to help us navigate our way by helping us find friends.
Yes, I do. That's the
That's
backup
true.
plan.
It's one of the backup plans.
Yep.
Seems like you have a lot of backup plans. There are a lot of there are a lot of backup plans.
Well, you know, we got to make sure our bases are covered.
Cool. So I think everybody's pretty clear on the plan. As you guys travel for a time, Rec, I'll say. Well, let's talk about outcome in just a bit. So you guys travel for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days pass, and it's been very quiet along the road. You see the occasional, um, I don't want to say caravan, but because that's not appropriate. But the occasional wagon or person on horseback passes you by, always with people wearing these masks, and they tend to um, keep their distance from you, a social distance, if you will. Um, Nobody of import, really.
I'm going to take my short rest so I can get one of my spell slots back.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say if we're traveling a number of days,
you can all take a full rest easily. This has been multiple full rests.
Right. Good.
Yeah, so every day you're sleeping for at least 8 hours. Between the two wagons, pretty easy to work out. Someone to look out. You set up camp when appropriate. Pull the wagons, give the horses rest, all of that. Um, you're traveling for some time, and um, finally you come to the river here. So that X was not in the good spot there. I'm sorry about that. So you come to the river here. All right. As you guys start to approach the river, the path itself has sort of narrowed, um, and is well. Let's say the very first river that you come across is a very wide bridge, stone bridge, um, and um, as you move past it, they circle the wagons just after. That's kind of your last day of where you're like resting there. You know, Val does some fishing. Um, Probably you do too, Rec. Um, which yeah, also outcomes for your survival check. Um, Man, you keep that food supply topped off like the entire time. But you also note a lot of um, the typical wildlife that you would relate to being in a grassland. Um, Seems a lot more sparse than you remember. A lot more spread out. You're much more used to when you travel through this area with your tribe. Um, you know there were a lot of animals, a lot of wildlife, and now not so much. You do see the occasional fowl um, and definitely have seen your share of hill giants off in the distance um, or that sort of thing. Nothing ever messes with you though. Um, yeah,
Would the type of the time of year that we're in, would that take any of that change into account, or just seems odd?
it seems odd.
Okay.
It seems pretty odd. Um, taking the time of year into account, I believe we're getting into like um, late summer, so it's gonna start being fall weather pretty
Hmm.
soon. Um, yeah, animals um, tend to sort of become a little bit more scarce during these times, but at the same time, like this is a little bit weird. Maybe though it has more to do with um, the current disease that's spreading across the world, perhaps.
Okay.
But you note that all along the way, that wildlife doesn't it just isn't as alive in this place as
Impression.
it used to be. As well, um, there's been no other sign of orc tribes, nothing of that sort. Most of them tend to stick to the north, but yeah, aside from those people that pass by you on the road, it's no sign. Also kind of strange. Orcs are very numerous people, and they are always wandering. Well, at least here. At least here. Right.
All right. I'll
So
keep note of it and try to keep a lookout for anything else along those same lines that might give me a better idea. If anything should come my way.
awesome, awesome. As you guys approach the second river, like I said, the path starts to narrow. Um, there's some very distinct. It's like a sort of a very distinct trail along this area, and Healthius, what is it? It was a raven, correct?
Yeah.
Your raven um, flies back down to um, your arm, lands. It says, "Bear
Bear.
ahead, bear."
Is it injured?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay, well, we have an injured bear up ahead, as is
An
the
injured bear.
rest of the people.
Hmm.
Yeah, bear. No.
This might be just the distraction that we need if it's close enough to the river.
I get a quick marching order.
Marching. Is that initiative?
Well, if it's an injured bear that we're going to be worried about, I think either Rec or Valphalin should probably be in the lead.
Yeah,
I think that would be
Rex ready to take up
initiative.
the front.
Not quite yet. So yeah, Rec and Valphalin up front.
+2.
Probably. So if this is going to be everyone, maybe Misku and like Cyrene in the back, and then like myself and Tess like closer to the middle.
And put me in the back to protect the squishies.
Yep.
I was gonna say maybe Cyrene, since we have this plan and would hate to get seen, maybe she can hide in like Tess's hood, like how she does sometimes, like when they go through cities.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah. Tess usually keeps her hood up.
Okay. I'm
I
going-
see what we're doing.
Yes, I'm working on that right now.
I have
Yeah,
to
he's just trying to get our tokens together into the next map.
I have to
that way he can get an
AFK
order.
for just a
Okay.
sec. I'll be right back.
All right, and sure enough, just over the so you sort of the front wagon stops, and of course all the other two follow suit. And sure enough, just over the bridge here, you spy a bear, very large bear, and it's sort of just laying there. It makes the occasional growl kind of sound. Like you can tell that it is alive. It seems hurt.
I was gonna say, do we? Well, I mean, I guess I would have to ask Rec to see if he could see any sort of like arrows or wounds on it, but might be a bit too far for him.
Do that. We get that to go away.
Rec, do you want to take a look?
Yeah. Should just perception from here initially, and
Yeah,
then
sure. Let's roll a
okay.
perception.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
It's kind of a lot
50,
going on. Your vision is
like
sort of
100 feet
obscured.
away.
Let's go ahead and make it a perception check, but with disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not.
Still a pretty nice roll, but no, you don't seem to see any kind of wounds or anything from this distance.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
Healthius, what are you doing?
Facing.
Oh,
I don't have my lab.
Valphalin.
I can try and talk with it.
Is it injured or is it sick?
I can't tell how it's hurt.
Oh, these days we don't know who can get the plague and who cannot, so please be careful.
You can speak with animals.
Yeah, it's not something I do a lot, but if you can give me some time.
I think I've heard this one. You're going to walk up to the bear and say, "Hello, you fucking bear."
Well, I mean that's a pretty rudimentary way of speaking, but yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Hey, you
I
fucking
speak
bear.
a little bear. I will move to the edge of the bridge.
All right.
Not doing anything threatening. but not necessarily trying to hide either. I will.
Phelan's going to also move up with you, but staying back quite a ways. He's kind of tucked behind his shield.
I will attempt to start a ritual for speak with animal.
Okay. Speak with. Gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived within the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the GM's discretion. Oh, awesome. Okay. Okay. And this is a okay, so we're casting as a ritual.
Yeah, so it's going to take me a little bit. Yeah, it takes longer to cast than a normal person using it as a spell, but after that it works the same. So
Okay. As you
I have
continue. Oh, go ahead.
I have to take a minute here or whatever.
Okay, so you signal that probably back to Valphalin, who signals it to the others. If anybody would like to move up or anything, you may do so.
What was that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yeah, just if anything, I signal to just stay low, be non-threatening.
As such, see Valphalin kind of lower his center of gravity. He looks kind of toward the others as he does it. As you've moved in closer, you can now see that again, there doesn't seem to be any indication of any physical wound on the bear,
Okay.
but it is
Oh.
thrashing violently, and it appears panicked in some way, and it is crying out as though it is hurt.
Well, that's terrible. Okay. I will attempt to hold my concentration and keep things calm until I am able to complete the ritual.
Okay, so for 10 minutes, as he as Rek works on his ritual, does anyone have any actions that they would like to take?
Yeah, I'm gonna touch the little creature that's trying to get away.
Wait, what?
That sounded wrong. The one that's hiding in the hood or whatever.
What?
He's talking about Cyrene.
Oh. Oh, okay. I see. I was like, what? Is there something on your screen I'm not seeing? I'm the GM. I should see everything.
You should see what I'm doing, right?
Oh yeah, should see what you're doing.
Oh, you. You
Oh,
should see what I'm doing.
wait, what?
He's casting non-detection.
He
Oh.
saw it.
For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. The target can be a willing creature or place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any. Yeah, okay.
And it lasts for 8 hours. Well, third level. That makes sense.
Target can't be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. Interesting. Okay. You
So I
hide
did
a
something.
target. Okay. Yeah, so Cyrene is hidden. Gonna go ahead and add that to. Let's see.
At any point, she can kind of just sneak away.
Why do they not have a thing for that? All they have is like making it. I think that actually removes the entire token though, and I don't want to do that.
Well, apparently they don't really put statuses on tokens per se. But...
Well, I mean, they do have statuses, but like this is about the closest thing I have. And that's blindness. Let me see here. So let's just do.
I mean, you can make the status be whatever you want. You're the GM.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Let's do this one here, just as empowered. Cool. Okay, so
Okay.
Cyrene, you are hidden at current inside the hood of Tess, but
Otherwise, you're still hidden.
you're magically concealed. Yes.
Does she know she's being magically concealed?
I touched her, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
she would be
so
aware of it. Yes.
when Healthiest reaches into Tess's hood, Tess is gonna kind of like, like creep out and then turn around and look at Healthiest and look at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Come on, dude. You got to maintain your social distance here.
One personal space.
All right.
Okay,
I'll
so
just-
he's making the shh. Okay, so Tess kind of tilts her head inquisitively. And Cyrene, do you detect that you're invisible right now or that you're undetectable?
Oh, am I able to detect that?
Yes. Yeah. You know
Okay.
that you were magically
You
concealed.
should probably
Okay.
give Tess a hint or some communication because right now she thinks the Healthiest is hitting on her, which is weird.
So Serene is going to whisper into Tess's ear, I'm hidden now.
It dawns on Tess and she goes, "Oh, okay." And she pulls out her notebook and just kind of acts like she's looking around the wildlife area and she's taking notes to see if there's anything going on with nature.
Any other actions from anyone here?
Nothing here.
Not this time.
Okay. Rek, you complete your ritual.
I
You
I
know
turn
that-
around and I'm like, all right, I think I'm about done. Thanks for bearing with me.
The wait was a little unbearable.
Tess gets it.
I'll be right behind you, Rek.
All right, not too close, but but we'll be safe.
Indeed.
Okay.
Don't
At
worry,
this
we'll
point,
grin and bear it.
I'll step about halfway across the bridge
He's
and
gonna move.
Is it bearable?
try to give a little grunt, er, communicate, trying to show that mean no harm. You seem to be in trouble. How can I help?
The bear looks up at you and eyes you. You see it try to stand up on its legs, but immediately wobbles and sort of falls flat. It makes another um, loud call. Again, as though it is injured.
Okay. I'll close in some of the distance. Can I see anything else? Any injury on it now?
Valphalin follows up behind you slowly. So you still don't see any open wound or injury, but it looks like it may, judging by the way that it's moving, maybe have a broken leg.
Okay. All right, I'll try to calm it. It's like, I can
do the
help
comment.
your leg
Hmm.
make better.
Put it to sleep.
So it
Now,
Are you? Would you allow us to help?
it sort of, it doesn't say anything back to you, but it sort of calms a little bit. It looks up at you. Go ahead and roll animal handling.
Okay. This is where the downfall comes from. Let's see what we got.
there. Boom. Oh, yeah, I got a 0. And woo.
That's an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bear calms down, sort of looks up at you with this defeated and painful look on its face. You can tell its eyes are most definitely wincing in pain.
All right, I will approach him, put my hand out, let him sniff me.
And he does. His nose is actually rather dry.
Okay. I'll
Thirsty.
place my hand on just the top of his nose, show kindness, and then I'll call back. Tess, can you heal a bear?
Tess has never worked on bears before, but she can definitely try. And she starts to walk across the bridge. Partway through the bridge, she's going to signal to Cyrene that now might be the time for Cyrene to go ahead and take off through this, like, tree, like, brushy area and
That's Brush.
try to head toward Mekurdika.
Does that lead to it? I can't see the rest of the map, so
It,
I mean,
it does.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
The map just ends at
Yeah.
the tree area for us, but
I would just move
Okay.
off into the brush or something. Now that you have
Yeah, that's-
non-detection on you, it's kind of a good
Mhm.
area for you to fly to.
About as far as you can get for right now.
Mhm.
And then
Into the thick of it.
into the thick of it.
Misku, are you staying put?
I will move forward with the party.
Okay.
I will just continue to try to soothe the bear, let it know that we mean no harm. She's a friend.
Tess is going to focus on our bear friend and then cast.
So before you even get the opportunity to cast anything, this bear just stands up.
Tess hides behind Rec.
And then proceeds to start just casually walking off down the road, as though nothing was actually wrong with it. I'd like everyone to go ahead and roll in a knit.
Where's
Except Cyrene, right?
Nope, Cyrene, you'll have to roll one as well.
Got it.
There's no combat.
Yeah, hold on, working on that.
Like
You have to have combat to
initiative
roll
or
initiative?
Yeah, hold
Yeah.
on.
intelligence?
yeah, we may not see what's happening yet, but something is happening.
Okay.
Shouldn't have to have combat to roll.
Yeah, it's just a Foundry thing. All it means is that I have to set up the combat before I have you guys roll. So give me a second here. Oh, hey, it's doing it. It's doing it.
Oh, that sucks.
Aw.
It's initiative.
It's okay. At least it's only initiative.
Right? I got a 3.
What was mine? Oh,
Who's got the really
Awesome.
cool black and pink die?
That's me.
That's awesome.
Okay, still waiting
You
on.
change dice.
there we go.
I'll talk you through that a little bit later, after the
Okay.
session.
Worries.
Wait, that should have rolled for Valphalin. Why did that not roll for Valphalin?
Because you're still in GM mode, maybe.
That's weird. No, hold on. I think it rolled you, or did you just roll?
I just rolled.
Okay, let me try this again. There it is. Okay, that time it worked. I think you rolled and it moved the list, and when I tried to click on his initiative, it messed things up. Okay. So, no sooner does this bear just start kind of casually walking off, much to your surprise, Rec. Not even. It doesn't even seem to like. It just immediate change. Like 1 minute seemed hurt, next minute stands up, walks off.
Okay.
Tess did not mean to offend it.
From behind you and across the bridge, you hear the sound of like these rustling leaves, and an orc steps out wearing a wide-brimmed hat. Not the Not the one that was traveling with Adric, but still a familiar face.
Bless.
Touching, he says. And he is pointing. What is he pointing at? Okay. So he's pointing a crossbow directly at you, Misku.
Misku?
All right.
Now, I'd advise you to all put your weapons down. He sort of flashes this wide grin, those two tusks.
It's the hunter.
Learning her lesson from previous adventures, Tess is immediately going to drop her quarterstaff.
Rex looking where the bear went. He's looking back like, what the hell's going on?
As you Interesting.
Like, he's perplexed. He's like,
Valphalin calls back. I'm not sure if you may be ill, but we outnumber you. I will keep my weapons where they are, thank you. And if you would like to try and hit me with that thing, I welcome you to. Otherwise, perhaps it should be you that places that weapon upon the ground. He kind of just continues to grin as he takes a step forward. I don't think that you have properly seen the situation that you've got yourself in.
Mm. Can I do a perception check?
Yes.
Rex turns to Tess. I think that bear was faking it.
Tess is thinking so too. She's looking around nervously to see if there's anyone in the bushes or field around us.
I need a new dice.
Yeah, your dice is kind of cursed.
Oh, so that came public. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I would. And now it's saying Valphalin rolled it privately.
What?
So it actually showed when you had one person roll publicly, and then
Yeah.
it showed the Valphalin rolls private.
Oh, interesting. I was wondering what that would look like.
All right.
Misku is just kind of has her club propped over her shoulder. She's just kind of looking at him, really unimpressed, picking at her teeth, just kind of waiting for whatever happens next.
Ian Fear, your turn. Start the combat.
All right. So the only visible weapon Ian Fear would have would be the crossbow, simply because like the way he has his daggers situated they're sort of up his sleeve. Like, I mean, maybe there's a slight bulge around his wrist, but otherwise it's like they're not terribly noticeable. But he's gonna slowly reach for his crossbow and just like he's gonna start to appear to set it down on the ground.
Okay, so he's going to set his crossbow down on the ground.
Yeah.
All right. Any other actions here?
I mean, I'd like to see, like, maybe if my senses of perception are better than Healthius's, apparently.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Before.
What am I gonna do with this? Let's see.
Where are you looking? What are you looking for?
I think I'm trying to detect any sort of movement or like any sort of like unusualness. It would most likely be from, I would say, around the bushes area that's right next to where Valphalin and Tess are.
It's okay.
Oh, it sounds like. Oh no!
Your sirens.
I was gonna say, is that Atlas who's?
That would, yeah.
That would actually be Talos.
Oh, okay.
It's the song of the siren.
All right. So, and then let's roll this perception.
So we have an 11. Let's see here. Try as you might, you don't see anything. You don't sense anything, I should say.
Yeah, I don't really detect anything anyway at the moment, but yeah, I will go to set the crossbow down, and then that will be it.
Healthiest, it's not your turn yet, man.
Okay.
I think you were about right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. What would he probably do here? So he kind of takes another few steps down the bridge, stops right in the center, and he repeats, "Your weapons. Lay them on the ground. No one here has to get hurt."
If no one here has to get hurt, you're definitely putting off quite a confident energy. Can Tess ask what this is for exactly? Do you want the contents of our caravan? What are you looking for?
Oh, you don't recognize me.
Tess is bad with faces and names. You'll have to remind Tess.
You are the one who allowed those drow to get away after they stole from us.
Oh, you were on horseback when Tess scared the piss out of you.
He
Now I
kind of
recognize.
scoffs.
Now we remember you turning tail and running away. Did you
Yeah,
bring
we
your
did.
friends with you? Tess is clearly mocking him.
We have you surrounded right now.
Really?
Yes. Really.
Boop, boop.
Perception.
I should still have the ring of truth telling on my person.
To gain advantage if you
On
want to know.
insight checks to determine whether someone is lying. Can I roll insight to see if he's lying as to like how surrounded we are exactly?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna roll
It was
perception.
advantage, right? Advantage.
advantage.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a 21. I don't see what they rolled.
yeah, his is privately rolled because this was,
Yeah.
although it says Valphalin, it's his thing, but you know, he definitely believes he's telling the truth.
Oh no.
No, he's lying.
He's lying.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's lying.
Yeah, he's absolutely lying. You are not
I can see
surrounded.
that.
Oh, really? Tess gets the feeling that you might not have the upper hand that you think.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Cyrene, do you have any spells available that could try to help knock this fool into the water or something? Like if you were to come up and try to flank him, since you're part of this this battle.
And also, since you have the element of surprise.
Yeah, you're
Cyrene,
undetected right now.
I think she should stay undetected.
So
Yeah,
looking at my spells, I don't know if I have anything. I have like Earth Tremor, but I don't really know if I have anything that can push someone into water. Maybe Magic Missile? I'm not sure if that actually pushes someone back.
No,
I
it
mean,
does
it is.
not.
Well, I mean, it is force damage.
I have boom. There we go. This level.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's why he was talking about maybe we could tidal wave in the river.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Let's make it a dexterity saving. Failed save, the creature takes 48 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't knocked prone. The water then spreads out across the ground in all directions, extinguishing unprotected flames in its area and within 30 feet of it, and then it vanishes. Pretty easy to get a drop of water at this point. Yes, yeah, you can do that. However, I will have to ask you to wait for your turn to come up for it.
Okay.
Yeah, doing the insight check and mocking this guy is the end of my turn.
Okay. All right, that brings us to Cyrene.
So since Cyrene doesn't really have too much to knock this guy, and she doesn't want to blow her cover, she's just going to kind of stay in the brush where she's hiding currently.
Very well.
Very good.
Who is? Oh, okay. Let's see here. I know we're at time.
We also started a little bit late, though.
Let's see. All right. Healthiest?
I cast tidal wave.
Actually, you're not up quite yet, but
okay.
you go ahead and roll a perception check, if you please.
Hey, another perception check.
Yeah, that's weird. Why am I not? Huh.
Why you're not what?
Boom.
Well, there is a guy who I wanted to ban in the chat, but apparently, because there's a bot in there, but for some reason I don't have the moderator stuff on here.
Oh, weird.
Twitch has
Here
been
we go,
doing
man, it
this.
looks like.
Twitch has been doing this weird thing where it's like removing moderation on people randomly. It's like a glitch that's been going on for a couple months.
I'll add you back in as soon as we finish up.
It might just be the chat window thing or something. I don't know. Anyway, but thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Roll
Healthiest.
the natural 20.
From just above you, a short ways, and within the brush right next to you, you hear whispering. I'll let you I'll let you take a reaction to that if you'd like.
Aw, that sucks.
How come?
Because I earlier can you fix that? Earlier I had casted what was it, catnap, and it never did anything.
Huh?
So
Because he was trying to cast catnap to make the bear fall asleep in order to help us heal it, I think, but he may not have mentioned that quite loudly enough.
Ah. No, yeah, before any action went off against the bear, he got up and took off. Like unexpectedly.
No, so this was even before Tess had even gotten up there. He was going to attempt to catnap, but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
quite a
think he
few
made
ways
that
up in
clear
the
enough.
chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you didn't call it out like verbally, I probably didn't know that it was happening.
okay, can I get that spell slot back?
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Yeah, he had clicked that. That's why.
Let me I saw I did see the perception check. He that is how he identified this whispering and why he's getting a reaction.
And I'm trying to do this. It still says I have 0 slot.
Oh, I'm sorry. One moment. I forgot. I wasn't sure if it would let you add the spell slot back in or not. What spell level is this? Third?
You might need to close your thing and load it back up just in case.
No. He was out. I added the
No,
spell.
I know.
I added the spell slot back.
I'm good now.
Yeah, you should be able to cast now.
Okay.
Stinking cloud. Create a 20-foot radius sphere of yellow, nauseating gas centered on a point within range. The cloud spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. The cloud lingers in the air for the duration. Each creature that is completely within the cloud at the start of its turn must make a Constitution saving throw against poison. On a failed save, the creature spends its action that turn, retching and reeling. Creatures that don't need to breathe are immune to poison, automatically succeed on this saving throw. Okay, let's see. All right, target does not have immunity to any type of poison, so we're going to go ahead and roll that. What was it, a Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah, saving throw, DC 14 Constitution. Aww.
So they do pass it. The cloud still lingers, though. So let's see.
For at least 4 rounds.
Were you just carrying that stuff around with you? Probably the rotten egg would be the, or the small, maybe the skunk cabbage leaves. Who knows? Who knows? All right. So
Yeah, for some devil's lettuce.
suddenly, from the bush over there, where's this going to happen?
Is there a fireball happening?
Yes.
Oh. Can I do this? No, I don't think I can. Oh, I can't do that. I am
Gonna figure out where I want to place it. Okay. Fireball is aiming at everyone there. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that stealth as the tiefling kind of pops out from the bush here and immediately casts out this fireball, which explodes right between Tess and Val, and spreads out that 20 feet.
Now, I was going to say, would I have a reaction to be able to use my Misty Step since it has the spell speed of a bonus action?
Spell speed of a bonus action? Yes. Oh, wait. No, bonus actions have to take place on your turn, as do actions. Healthiest, you cannot cast Gust of Wind at this time.
Can I
He
attempt
was
to? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was saying yeah, because even though he let you cast the spell because you were reacting to hearing the noise, like technically it's still sort of an action.
It was an
that-
action, yes. I was letting him take a reaction to it, a reaction.
Can I attempt to use danger sense to do a dex save for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody else that is within that area of effect, please roll a dexterity saving throw. All these dice come out.
29.
You said it
Misku,
was
that's-
dexterity?
saving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Also have danger
Oops,
sense.
That's not what I...
Yep, you may go ahead and take that with your...
I'm going to. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Okay.
Yeah, advantage really helps.
So me and oh,
Hang on a sec. So I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos ability to give myself advantage on this roll. And then if I cast a... Oh, Jesus.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
2 1s, yeah, I know.
I'm kind of missing it on this sheet.
know
Where
what?
where are
Can-
the saving throws at?
So when
click
you
on-
click, once you click on the stat, it'll ask if you're casting it as a skill or a saving.
Oh.
That's damage, by the way.
So I'm gonna use my inspiration to re-roll one of those.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Thank you, Tess. Nice.
nice.
That inspiration is
Ooh.
everything. So this was a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. Everyone who rolled more a 14 or higher takes, what was that, 23 divided by 2 rounded down. It's going to be not 11.
I'll be taking half that, I believe, because I'm fire resistant.
Yes, so you will take half of that.
I'll take 5.
Valphalin is also going to be taking 5. Okay. Is everybody making these changes on the on Foundry? How are we doing
Didn't
this?
take.
I believe so. Yeah.
I
I
have a
didn't
re-
roll
I have
more
a-
than 14, I think.
I have a
So-
resistance to fire, so how much damage do I take?
So let's see. You rolled a 12, so you would take half damage from this. So that would also be 11.
Rolled a 6.
Whew. So yeah, you eat that. You ate that damage. That is 23 damage. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in.
Ow.
Yeah, ouch.
Right there. There you go. Huh. Good thing I have freaking healing spells. Or healing potions.
17.
I can take a
Okay.
long rest.
Suddenly, from out of the bush next to you, Tess, a human dives out. Her clothes kind of, she pats out the fire. Says, "Erytra, what are you doing? You could have killed me." And she sort of chuckles. Small price to pay. Let me go ahead and remove. How do I just remove that one? Oh, okay, I see that. All right. So she is now going to take a movement and move just out of the cloud here. Actually, let's say she probably moves about right there. And that brings us to Wreck Bloodstone.
All right, now Rek was already mad and confused by this bear. And then this guy steps out threatening us. And then someone shoots a fireball at us. Rek was going to go and take care of him, but this person right here in the bushes just showed up. So they are now the brunt of Rek's anger as he takes a step over and he's going to hit him with a warhammer.
Ouch.
Do it.
If I can figure out how to do that. How do I roll an attack on this sheet?
I think you just roll the item. Let me check.
Yeah, you roll
Okay,
the
so-
item. And then it'll come up and
Oh,
it'll
wait,
say attack damage and versatile in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. Okay,
Yep.
that's
So now
what
click
I
on
was
that
doing.
attack button in the chat and that'll roll the die.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use reckless attack, so advantage.
23 is a hit.
Okay. Normal damage. So 7.
7, okay.
Oh, it was 11. Okay.
It's kind of just cleave into her side and she kind of reels back in pain. Blood kind of dripping down her and all of the like scorch marks on her and everything. She looks pretty messed up.
Okay. Second attack of the round.
Again, it's a hit.
Okay. And damage.
Oof.
Nice.
8 damage.
Nope. 13.
Oh, 13 damage.
Yeah, total.
All right. So she, cleaving into her one more time, she just kind of spills over into a pile of death.
Who does?
The one who he was attacking died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or got knocked
yeah,
down.
there
right?
should have been like 4 extra points of rage damage on there for some reason, I think. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah, either way, she's down.
Not worried about it at this point. And then Rek's gonna look around for the next target. And
Who
that's
wants
gonna be
some?
the end of his turn.
Misku, you're up next.
All right. I am going to approach our friend on the bridge. Oh, button. There's the button. All right. I'd like to use my first attack turn to initiate a grapple,
All right.
which I'm doing with advantage because I have the grappler feat.
And if I remember correctly, this is an opposing strength check from the grapplee. So there's that opposing strength check.
Before. So before. Ooh. I don't know. I'm debating on if I was going to do it or not. Yeah, why not? So before Misku makes her check, I'm actually going to use my bend luck skill, spend 2 sorcery points, and give minus D4 to his roll to the warriors there.
Okay. Okay, sorry. So yeah, go ahead and roll. Okay, I'm sorry, Ian Fear, you're doing what now?
So I use my bend luck skill, and I'm reducing the roll essentially of the guy he's grappling by his strength check by 2.
Okay. And then Misku, the skills.
Why am I blanking on? I'm trying to. I know there's like an option on here to click. to roll like actions specifically, but I'm just not.
So basically, you're just making an attack with your hands. And how do you do that exactly?
I could just roll unarmed strike, I guess.
Yeah, roll unarmed strike. That's the one.
Okay. Attack with advantage.
All right, 24 versus the other one. He is grappled.
All right, I'm going to use my second action here to. Where is it? Featured. No. Where? I just had it in front of me.
I forgot to use my reaction spell for Hellish Rebuke. I didn't know how to find it.
Oh,
When I took damage from the fireball, the person that cast it should have also did a roll.
okay. Yeah, let me see.
I was gonna say, go ahead and link it in chat first. That way you can.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut ahead, but I should have rolled it. I was having a hard time finding my reaction spells in this new character sheet.
I'm trying to find my grappling pin ability, but just not seeing it.
Your grappling pin ability?
Yes.
You linked it. The grappler?
No, that's grappler. That's the feat. There's an actual move that I get from grappler called grappling pin.
Oh, you can use your action to try to pin a creature grappled by you. To do so, make another grapple check. If you succeed, you and the creature are both restrained until the grapple ends.
I'll
Doesn't
just roll
sound
unarmed
good.
strike again.
Yeah, it's under the. Yeah, there we go.
My only question is, am I rolling on advantage on this roll also, since it's still considered part of the grappler, or is it a separate non-advantage roll?
Yeah, let's roll it with advantage.
Are you raging?
Okay, I'm trying to sort through everything that's going on.
Nice.
Roll advantage. Okay, let me do the opposing strength check for him. So that is a ability check, normal.
Nice.
Ooh. But yes, yeah, you were successful. So both you and him are pinned.
So Misku reaches out for his hand that has the crossbow, grabs him by the wrist, hip tosses him over her, then sits on his back with his arm behind it, pinned down, sitting on top of his back, just going, "This must be really embarrassing for you."
He just kind of huffs. And struggles against you, obviously. Okay, so Hellish Rebuke, let me handle that real quick. So this was what kind of saving throw? Dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. 7.
Oh, passes.
Is that a pass?
Yeah, it's a DC
Already.
11.
DC, okay, saving throw DC 11.
Half of much damage, so she just rolls the 2d10.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage for Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh.
17. So 17, 16 divided
8?
by 2, 8, yeah.
So yeah, the tiefling that cast fireball should take that damage.
Yes, took
What?
the damage.
Which one?
All right. The tiefling over there next to you, or near you.
Oh. What did I see? What did I see? What did I see? I saw something. What was I gonna do? There was something. Ow! 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 Don't use your claws.
That's what she said?
Okay, you go over here. Lay down. All right, thank you. There was something that I could do now that it lost life. Oh, where is that?
All right, Val's going to move up and, well, where's the thing? Do the thing. There it is. And he is going to breathe fire in a cone.
Where?
At the tiefling over there.
Okay.
Why is it not
Close
showing me
to
the?
tiefling.
Why is it not showing me the damage?
You have to roll for the damage.
Where is it?
Oh, you want fireball?
Oh, that's weird. Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's not coming in with the damage and stuff.
Just
So let me see.
8d6 fire damage.
DC for the saving
Or-
throw equals 8 plus your Constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus. A
3d6.
creature takes 2d6 damage on a failed save and half damage successful, and the damage increases at just 3d6 at 6th level, 4d6 at 11th level, 5d6 at 16th level. Okay, so we're at 6th level, so this would be 3d6
3d6.
damage. So let's say roll 3d6. There's that.
16.
She needs to make, what was it, a dexterity saving throw? Was it?
8 plus Constitution plus proficiency.
That's for the DC.
Yeah, the DC is
Determine.
saving throw.
Oh, okay. Hold on. It's
by your
determined by my.
draconic ancestry.
This is a fire blast, so it is a dexterity save. Yes. Figured it was dexterity.
4.
Or no, that's good actually.
6.
Yeah, it's like
That's good. So she takes the full damage, which is 16. So yeah, wow, just completely assaulted. Like Val just kind of like walks up and opens up his mouth really wide, and you just see this cone of flames just emit from his mouth and just covers this tiefling. You know what I just realized? She actually would just take half damage from that. Tiefling. Okay. Yeah, we definitely should. Let Healthius do his turn, because Healthius has the last turn, and we will call it a day after that. So, Healthius, please take your turn.
Look at this tiefling and be like, you play with fire, you get burned.
Line of soaring flame, 30 feet long and 5 feet wide, emanates from you in a direction that you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw. Doing that.
Change the line though. We're in a line from each other, but it's not in a line. It's
I mean, even diagonally straight is a line.
right,
It's
but
this
it
right
won't
here.
go diagonal. It only goes horizontal.
No, it goes in
You
a
see
direction.
that?
Yeah, but
That'll
it only
work. That'll work
Yeah.
right there.
There.
Here, let me
So just rolling that D.
Yeah.
Saving
Instead
throw.
of doing that, click the ruler and then just go like this. and
Yeah,
point
it's
it out.
fine. That's weird that it's doing that, but there's just so many drawings on this field right now. So she rolled a 7 on the saving throw, which is a failure. Go ahead and roll your damage.
How do you do damage again?
The little button on the thing on the scorcher
In
has
the
a little
chat.
damage button in the chat. Yeah.
Let's go to damage. Normal. Not too
That
bad.
is 12 damage. So you fire this line of flame just out of your hand, I assume, or maybe a staff or something, and it kind of tears through her. She sort of reels back, looks pretty annoyed by it, and but immediately kind of stands back up and glares at you.
Doesn't feel too good, does it?
She's starting to look kind of worried.
Misku is going to shout to the rest of the party and be like, "Why are you guys trying to set tieflings on fire?"
She set me on fire.
Mine was an immediate reaction. Tess already knows.
All right, everybody. So that is
Hammer!
that is all the time that we have for today. We will continue this combat next time, and until then, I hope that you'll join us next week on Saturday for the next episode of.
Even more better gameplay.
Well, for the next episode of Deep Space Transmissions, and that happens on Saturdays, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. As well, please join us again for New Dalancia on Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. this very channel, Central Time as well. And check out my Twitch schedule for more information about that. And until next time, what is the thing that I say?
TysonSirius tips his hat.
Oh, yes, this is VGpunx, your most gracious DM. And I'm signing off. Keep a song in your heart.
Bye.
07.